guys, thank you for joining me today. Today I'll be giving a lot less cues, so you may wish to watch some of my other videos and practice them so that you have more options for your practice. You can lower the knees and you know how to do that, you know how to round your spine properly and ugly planks, etc. I'm going to be using a yoga belt. You can use a yoga belt, obviously, or a dressing gown belt or towel, and those are perfect. You do not have to use any belt, but I would recommend something. Let's come to our mat. Tuck our chin and roll down through the spine. At the bottom, take a little pause, breathe freely. And then press through the balls of the feet and restack your vertebrae one at a time. Let's repeat. Rolling down vertebra by vertebra. Taking a little pause, releasing the tension here, breathing. And then pressing through the balls of the feet again and restacking your vertebrae. Like everything is a warm-up today. Hands behind your head. Bend your knees, lift your top chest. Take a little moment. Does this feel good? The top chest is lifting, the belly is squeezing. Support your head as you release one arm. And then the other arm. Just make it feel very supported, whatever you're doing. Right foot under your hip, take hold of the outside of the left shin, hug the knee and resist the stretch. So we're releasing the tension around the hip flexor. You'll feel a squeeze there. And then change sides. So as we push our thigh back in towards the hands, this resistance helps us release any excess tension. Some push kicks to warm up the legs. So lift and kick with the left foot and then the right. Think of leaning back a little bit as you kick and bringing your hip forward. It's like we're allowing our hip to come out. Make this feel good for you. We're warming up the hamstrings actively here. And that really helps. All types of stretching helps. Active, passive when it's in the right way, dynamic, etc. They're all good and they're all helpful. Let's do two more, one more on each side. Dropping our hands, tucking our chin, rolling back down through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Taking hold of something, hands on the floor or the thighs, inhale, bend. Exhale, lift up through your sit bones, release your hamstrings, twice more. Inhale, we bend more deeply, and exhale, straighten the legs or not, but lift your sit bones. Inhale, bend. Exhale, lift the sit bones, pause. Press back through the thighs and find a way to release your hamstrings. Release your head, your neck. Allow yourself to breathe. It's like a little warm up. And walking our hands back out into our downward facing dog. Charge up your hands again. Feeling that squeeze underneath our shoulder blades. Rippling forward now into a full or half plank, rocking forward and back. Keeping our back slightly rounded, I would recommend that. Breathe through it. When you're challenged, you might have to breathe out through your mouth, And that's fine, usually in and out through the nostrils in yoga, but in Pilates we breathe in through the nostrils and out through the mouth when our abdominal muscles are working really strongly. Charging up those hands, pushing the floor away actively. Down dog for a release, lifting the top chest. Releasing the tension from any holding of the breath. Let's ripple forward again. Salsa hips. So keeping the slight rounding, rocking our hips from side to side, firing up our abdominal muscles. You might feel a nice heat building in your body. Keep going. You draw your navel in towards your spine. Downward facing dog. Take a little moment here. Breathe. Left thigh to the sky. Open your hip. And tiger curl. Thigh to the chest, knee to the nose, rounding up through the spine. Inhale, thigh to the sky. Exhale. Cross body tiger curl. Again, release the tension with your exhalation if you can. Inhale, thigh to the sky. Outer body tiger curl. Trying not to hold the breath here. Stepping left foot to left thumb. Lower our right knee to the floor. Hands on the inside of the foot. Have your little wiggle. Stay there, or step two. Take hold of the back foot. Hug it in. Release your thigh. Whatever you're doing here. Maybe you slightly tuck your chin. Lovely long neck. And coming into our half split now. Taking a little pause. Half split is very effective for our hamstrings, for releasing them. How does your neck feel? How does your back feel? As you dig through the heel, does the hamstring feel like it's releasing? Coming back with our ankle under the knee, finding our twist, taking a little moment here to fine tune, squeezing the back, lengthening through crown of head and out through the back foot. Lowering our back knee. Strongly recommend you take half planks and Chaturangas specifically for the beginning, but you choose. So from down dog or from the knees, unfurl. Upper back stays rounded. 1 to 3 Chaturangas. Push the floor away. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, unfurl. Belly stays tight. 1 to 3 Chaturangas. Doing what you can here. Keep the breath flowing. Inhale. Stick your bum out. Exhale, unfurl. Last round, we just have one on its own after this. And 1 Chaturanga, inhale. But we're going to pause upper back rounds to really fire up those muscles. Shoulders roll back. Our body actually comes forward. Fuller half up dog.
See, for the warm-up, my knees stay on the floor here. You choose. Exhale, tuck your chin. Belly lifts us into our downward facing dog. Breathe. Now twist. Hand to the center of the floor, right hand, or take hold of your ankle. So we're releasing down the left side of our leg, whatever shape you're in. Let's swap sides. Left hand either to the center of your mat or take hold of your right ankle. Using our breath here. Back to your down dog, then walking our hands back to our feet, bend the knees. Press through the balls of the feet and unfurl to stand, one vertebra at a time. You choose either supporting your head again with your hands, or take your hands to your buttocks, flatten buttocks down. Squeeze elbows together and lift top chest. Be conservative here, whatever variation of a back bend you're coming into. Your belly is protecting your low back. Take a little pause. We're warming up here. Warming up. It should feel like a warm-up as we come all the way back up to stand. Now, like a push kick, but kicking the hand. Step your right foot in front and kick your hand. Again, hips come out. And reminding ourselves, this is a warm-up, so maybe your legs are really low, but it feels like you're releasing tension there. Actively releasing our hamstrings. It's a little bit like the sit bones are coming down and forward. And that's kind of what it feels like to get your hips out. They're moving down towards the floor and then out towards the wall in front of you. Does it feel good for you? A few more. You might be feeling your legs releasing a little bit if you're working with yourself at your own pace. At the beginning, maybe our legs feel really tight, and then if we're mindful, they release a little bit. One more on each side. Awesome. Take hold of your belts now. Or your big toe, if you don't have a belt. Starting on the left leg, feel free to keep your right knee bent if you need to keep your glute on. Let's lengthen, lift up through the spine. Awesome, release the tension. And unfurl, so the right knee stays as high as possible. Draw your leg bone back into the socket. Take a little pause. Leg bone draws back into the socket. Other side. Like a continual warm-up, if the leg feels like it's tightening, back off. Knee stays high and we unfurl the leg. With your belt, this is why I recommend it, pull your leg back into the socket. Lengthen up. Awesome. Maybe we lift the knee higher and we unfurl from there on the other side again. Leg bone, actively draw it back. We're pausing, we're breathing, we're releasing excess tension. Not one more time. So there's a second time on the right side. How does your neck feel? Can you draw your shoulders back as well? So we're pausing about for the count of 5 each time we do this. Last time, left side, bringing the leg forward and away. Inhale, unfurl, bring that leg forward. Then take hold of your belt with your left hand and open the leg out to the side. Try and drop your hip. Again, a little pause.
Your leg might be really low, that's fine, that's fine. Just work with wherever you are and that it doesn't feel like it's tightening. Inhale. Lift the knee as high as you can. Well, you know, as high as you think will be okay for you to hold this. Now we're going to take hold of the belt with the right hand and open that leg out. It's still a warm-up. Awesome. Let's release that leg. Pardon me. Rolling back down through the spine, one vertebra at a time.
Inhale, bend. Exhale, sit bones lift. Twice more, guys. On your inhalation, you bend, and on your exhalation, you lift the sit bones up. Now think of stretching the mat between your feet. Pause. Pull the mat apart with your feet. Can you cajole a little bit? This stretch. Release down the spine. Release any excess tension in the body. Now walking our hands back out into our downward facing dog, charge up your back. Now either as we lower to our elbows, both arms at the same time, or lift back up, I'll show you now, using one arm. So again, you can use one arm first. But whatever variation, try and get the muscles in your back really charging up. So it's like we're strengthening the muscles in our back with this move. Three more. Keep going. Squeeze your back before you lift. One more. Awesome. Down dog. Coming forward, widening your feet a little bit and tapping our shoulders. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Feel free again to blow the tension out through the mouth, Pilates style. As we inhale through the nostrils, blow the tension out through the mouth when the belly is tight. Squeezing your inner thighs together. Last one each side. Down dog. Right leg extends back and up towards the sky. Open the hip. Exhale, tiger curl, and we pause. Inhale, flat to the sky. Cross body tiger curl, and we pause. Inhale, fly to the sky. How does your supporting leg feel? Exhale, outer body tiger curl. Right foot to right thumb. Lower your back knee. Hands on the big toe side of the foot. Have your nice wiggle. Reharness your breath. Maybe back to more traditional yoga breathing in and out through the nostrils. Big thing is to keep the breath flowing. Now step 2 option, take hold of the back foot, squeeze the foot in, with respect for your knee, obviously, and then release the back thigh. I like to slightly tuck my chin so my neck feels really nice. My spine is long. Coming into our twist step, your left hand a little closer usually. Press through the back foot. Drop that right hip. Now, as we reach through both fingers, including pushing the floor away with left hand, draw your shoulder blades together. And visualize your spine, lengthen it. From here, strongly recommend, again, that you keep your knees to the floor. Hands into a little triangle. This will work our triceps, rounding 1 to 3 push-ups. Inhale, stick your bum out. Exhale, unfurl. Belly stays tight. 1, 2, 3. I think that's 2 I did. Maybe it was 3, maybe I did 4. Inhale, lengthen. Last round of 3. Of 1 to 3. Now hands under shoulders again for our Chaturanga pause. Rounding. Pause, elbows stay in. So you have to feel them in at your ribs. Fuller half up dog maybe. You lift your knees this time. More warmed up. And exhale, reversal into your downward facing dog. Last time of that twist. So right ankle first this time, or the floor. Release your down the side of the right leg. Awesome, other side. Keep pressing the floor away with your left hand now, as you take hold of the left ankle with your right hand. Releasing down the sides of the legs. Walking our hands back, driving through the balls of the feet, coming all the way up to stand. Being mindful of knees here, feet out in our Malasana, standing to squatting. So keep your knees opening out as you come up and down. And be really mindful here, you don't have to come all the way down. You can sit in Malasana instead. Keep going. Releasing the excess tension. Pressing down through the feet. Opening our hips before we sit our buttocks down usually feels good. Really charging up our legs here, right? Now, I'm going to go sideways so you can see me, but bring your right foot out, Skandasana, so Malasana on one side. Flex your right foot and make this left hip and glute feel like it's releasing. Awesome. Other side, press through the hands, sit in your Skandasana on the other side, flex the foot. You feel good. Drive through the ball of the foot, come all the way up to stand. Now from here, take hold of your ankles maybe, or one ankle, and press your elbow, you'll see me do it on the next side, press your elbow inside your inner thigh so that your knee opens up every time you're stretching the opposite leg. Move mindfully here, so explore this strong stretch for your ankles, the outer leg, your foot. A few more, like a warm-up. Last one. Bring your feet to face forward, heels actually slightly out. Inhale, lift the top chest. Maybe you have to bring your feet closer together depending on your torso length. And walk your hands back between your feet. Now we're going to release our hamstrings here. Lift our sit bones. Lean into the balls of the feet. You might be feeling this more on the outside of the leg. So bring weight into the outside of your foot. Stretch the mat, even though your feet are wide apart, stretch the mat between your feet again. As your sit bones lift up. Awesome. From here, let's take an extra little vinyasa. So full or
half plank, full or half chaturanga, up dog, exhale, belly squeezes, downward facing dog. Taking a little moment, widening, broadening through the back of the thighs. Left leg to the sky. Exhale, center tiger curl. Inhale, thigh to the sky. Exhale, cross body tiger curl. Inhale, thigh to the sky. Exhale, outer body tiger curl. Left foot beside left thumb. Scoot toes under back heel. Interlace fingers come all the way up into your high lunge. Take a few moments here. Let's count to 10. Five more to go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Warm up. Parsvottanasana, warm up. Come up on the front heel. Inhale, rebend. Exhale, draw the hip back. Inhale, rebend. Exhale, take a little moment. Maybe you move slightly in this. And then rebend the front knee. Revolve Trikonasana, moving, straighten, or move towards straightening. Inhale, rebend. Exhale, revolved Trikonasana. Moving towards that shape, but drawing our left hip back. Pause, optional pause. Feel free to add a little movement. From here, lowering our right knee to the floor. Coming into a half split or a fuller variation of your split. So stick your bum out. Have a little wiggle. And then wide split practice, half flog on the right side, frog. And then bring your toes in, sit back like you're sitting into half child's pose. Half frog pose, right side again. And then half child's pose. Like a warm up, guys, so try not to force anything. Actively drawing your thigh bone back into your socket. And bring that leg out and back. Bring hands as wide as your mat now. Push up, mid hands, grip or whatever, wherever they are there, about as wide as your mat here. And again, 1 to 3. Unfurling, we're lifting the chest into the back, we're lifting the belly into the back, the front line of the body into the back line of the body. And it should feel, it's the last round of 3. 1 to 3, that we're really engaging the belly here as we do that. Hands under shoulders, inhale, stick your bum out. Exhale, unfurl. Adding our pose, fuller half chaturanga. Fuller half up dog. Adding on, head back to neutral. Lift one leg and then the other. Tucking our toes, downward facing dog. Taking a little moment here, broadening through the back of the thighs, making our hips feel really nice here. Walking our hands back to our feet, unfurling to stand, pressing down through the balls of the feet, unfurling. You choose your back bend, hands behind the head again, or on the buttocks. Our step 1 is simply to lift the top chest. Squeeze the elbows in, Or walk your hands down the back of the thighs. Taking a moment here, enjoying the activation of our abdominal muscles. Stacking our vertebrae one at a time. From here, take a moment, re-steady yourself, and left foot in front again. Now, more like a kick, no hands this time, and like you're dragging something down with your heel. Again, really important, hips go out, hips move out. So it should feel good. You're warming up those legs actively, but it still feels good. Your sit bone is moving down and slightly forward. That's the way it feels. So sometimes I imagine my sit bones are on rollers. A lot of the time that roller is moving down and back, but this time that roller is moving down and forward. And little visualizations like that can really help. The heel is pulling something imaginary down. Sometimes I imagine I'm pulling the light down. Nice analogy, right? Other times, I'm clearing energy away. One more on each side. Gets us nice and fired up. Last one. Awesome work, guys. From here, taking hold of our belt again, starting on our left side, one leg extension, Chaturanga. Take hold of your big toe or the belt, take a moment, drop your sit bones. From here, extending that leg up and out. Take hold of your belt, take a little pause here. We're trying to move our sit bone back this time, so it moves down and then back. And then take hold of the belt with the left hand and open that leg out to the side again. You can use your biceps a bit if you have any. I'm working on that. Inhale, lift that knee up. Imagine your sit bones. What are they doing? Take hold of the belt, right hand on the inside of the foot. Again, what are your sit bones doing? They're moving down towards the floor and back towards you as you stretch the leg in the opposite direction. Awesome work, guys. Little kung fu move, we're using it to warm the legs here. Being mindful of the knees again, make sure they move outward slightly. I think of opening the knees a little bit. I keep my feet on the floor as long as possible. Now I'm visualizing my knees moving outwards, so there's no sensation there. Coming up slowly-ish, like there's a string lifting us up. Twice more, nice and shaky in the thighs. Now this time, as well as mostly thinking about the knees, etc., can you get a squeeze in your back as you press those hands up? We're still feeling a squeeze in the back. Last time, warming up those thighs nicely. Quick, coming up to stand right, take your time if you need to, or if you can. Rolling down through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Take a little pause, maybe you stand on your hands 3 times. Inhale, bend. Exhale, sit bones lift up. You know the score here, so keep going. Keep releasing your neck, your head, through the back of the legs. Take a pause, release some more tension. Your sit bones are on a roller again. They move back and up.
Walk your hands back out into your downward facing dog. Now, some new abdominal work. Rippling forward into our floor half plank. Lower, let's go with the left elbow first. Right, left pushes up, right. Now this is the same as the down dog variation where we're feeling a squeeze around the shoulder blades before we even push through those hands. Can you keep your navel squeeze lifting up towards your spine? And again, probably Pilates breathing here while you're working your abdominal muscles. Blowing the tension out through the mouth. Let's do 2 more on each side. 1, 2, sorry, there's 1 on the right side, and 1 on the left side. Now we're on to our last one, right side. Down dog, break. Wriggle forward, come into your forearm plank, lift your navel up, scoot your heels over your toes, little hold. Count to 10. 5 more. There we are, we're done. Lower your knees to the floor, optional. Press back into your downward facing dog. Right leg extends back and up towards the sky. You've got it, guys. The next bit will seem easier. Tiger curl. If you're really beat, lower your knees to the floor, right? But get the engagement. Thighs to the sky. Exhale, cross body tiger curl. Inhale, thigh to the sky. Exhale, outer body tiger curl. How does your neck feel? Maybe you round, you tuck your chin slightly. Right foot to right thigh, to thumb. Slide back, toes back, coming into our high lunge, toes under heels. 10 seconds. It's maybe, I was going to say maybe a longer 10 seconds, but it's 10 seconds. Feeling that squeeze underneath your shoulder blades. Now we've got 5 more seconds to go here. 3. We're warming up the legs. Parsvattanasana, warm up. Draw the right hip back. Come onto your right heel. Inhale, rebend. Draw the hip back. Exhale. Inhale, rebend. Like a warm up, your leg doesn't need to straighten. Revolve Trikonasana, warm up, the leg bends. Then we draw the leg back into the socket, hip back. Inhale, rebend. Maybe your leg straightens a little or fully. Exhale, hand windmills up and back. Inhale, rebend. Take a pause. Fine tune. Release the tension. Activate the muscles around the shoulder blades. Drawing that right hip back. Lower your back knee. Split, warm up, warm up, warm up. That's all. Half split or stick your bum out. So, you may have noticed I forgot half split on the right side, the first sequence from our knees. So, feel free when you're repeating this video to pause it and add a little half split on the right side. Now we're warmed up enough, half frog with the back leg. Little half frog, toes, big toe, side of the foot to the floor, and then like a half child's pose. Half frog, warm up, warm up, warm up. Everything's a warm up. Half child's pose. Half frog. Half child's pose. Half frog. And then step back. Wide push up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, unfurl. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, stick your bum out. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, sit bones move back. Exhale, unfurl. I think we've one more to do. Inhale, send your sit bones back, rounding. Means I'm really sweating a bit and working. Hands under the shoulders this time. Full half chaturanga, but engage. Pause. Full half up dog. Head back to neutral. Lift one leg and then the other. This is completely optional. Belly squeezes, as is everything, of course. Downward facing dog. Lifting those armpits away from the floor. Walking our hands back towards our feet. Dig down through the balls of the feet. Come all the way up to stand. Awesome. Stand to face sidewards. If you've enough space, just stay where you are. Stepping the right foot in. Lifting the right hip up. And then kicking. So we step in, we kick with the other side. Keep going, guys. Try and focus on lifting that hip up. And wherever the hip lifts, keeping your leg at least in line with that. Feel free, like I'm doing, to move in much slower motion here to keep that hip high. And then focusing on straightening the supporting leg. So my foot is going higher than my hip, right? Try it. Even if your hip is really low, try it. One last time on each side. Trying to get our hips out still. So our hips, they move up and out. Awesome. Coming back to the back of our mat. Rolling back down through the spine. Taking a moment to release your hamstrings. What way do you want to release your hamstrings? Maybe you bend and straighten. Maybe you take hold of your elbows this time. Salamba Uttanasana. Just mixing it up a bit. Knees bent or straight. Visualize that roller. Your sit bones move back and up. We lean into the balls of the feet. Ooh, I'm sweating nicely. Looking our hands back out into our downward facing dog. Now from here, lower your elbows to the floor and optional, lift that right leg up in little pulses. And then the left leg up, little pulses. One more time each side. Really kicking the leg behind you, getting the squeeze for your buttocks. Back to those press ups. One hand or both. The muscles around the shoulder blades squeeze before pressing through the hands. So get that squeeze. 3 more. I think that's 3. Left leg extends, backing up towards the ceiling. Tiger curl for 2. Inhale, thigh to the sky. Cross body tiger curl for 2. Inhale, thigh to the sky. Outer body tiger curl for 2. Step the left foot up towards the left thumb. Now ground the back heel. Warrior 1 warm up. Bend and straighten. Whew. Trying to level up our hips. So the back heel is further back. It's more like the toes are facing 1 o'clock. Or even between 12 and 1
on a, what do they call it, I don't know, analog clock. Now dropping our sit bones down, feeling that squeeze around the shoulder blades. Hands drop down. For 5, lean forward. Glute is working strongly. Reach the fingers behind us. 4, 5. Dig through the front heel, come all the way up. Warrior 2, warm up. Widen your stance for our warrior 2. Unfurl, archer's pose. Take a moment, maybe you bend and straighten, maybe you pause. Straighten, rebend, sweep your hand down your back thigh. Feeling our belly squeeze for finding a pause. From here, hand to the floor. Finding our side angle. If you can breathe through your nose here, do. I'm talking usually in teaching. I usually breathe through my mouth a little bit more. Extend your arm in your Trikonasana over your head, feeling that left glute squeeze. Then windmill the arms to the floor, knee to the floor, step back. Hands into prayer pose. I'm going to do this more for my knees. Wherever you are, you can unfurl. You can do as many of these as you can, or simply do 10 from your knees, conditioning our hands a little bit. Keep the upper back in line with the shoulder blades. So I think of the front of my chest coming in here. And then hands underneath the shoulders. Pause in our fuller half Chaturanga. Shoulders back, elbows in. Fuller half up dog. Optional, lift one leg and then the other. Downward facing dog. And from here, walking our hands back to our feet. Press through the balls of the feet, coming all the way up to stand. Awesome work, guys. From here, optional. Bend our knees so you can extend your leg using your belt again, or take hold of your hands. Lift the right foot up for our bird of paradise pose. You can stay here, pressing through the left foot, lengthening through the torso as much as possible. And then if or when you're ready, knee stays high as possible, and we extend out. Other side. Use your belt for leg extension if you prefer, or hand underneath, left hand underneath. It wraps around the left buttocks. You take hold of the left hand with the right. And then you'll notice I keep my knee bent because that activates the glute till I come up to stand. Then we adjust our hands to give our torso length. And then extending the leg from here. And then coming all the way out. Awesome. Take a few rolls up your shoulders. Ooh, do you want a little bit more work? I think I hear a yes. So from here, press the hands up, coming back into this Qigong Kung Fu move, where we're squatting, we're opening those knees out. It feels good, belly squeezes, coming all the way up to stand. Do you feel a squeeze around the shoulders? Make it feel really good for your back, and shoulders, as well as everything else, of course. And next time, let's go a little slower when we come up to stand. So, now we're coming up to stand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Woo! And releasing those hands. Take another few little rolls. Tuck our chin. Now the good news is we're not going to do any more planks, etc. Mostly because of time. Coming into our downward facing dog. Extending the right leg up towards the sky. Just 2 seconds, was it? Tiger curl. Inhale, back to the sky. Cross body. Inhale, back to the sky. Outer body. Step the right foot towards the right thumb. Ground the left foot. Warrior 1. Hands on hips first, warm up. And sometimes second side, we're kind of warmed up already from our warrior 2s. On the other side, reach your hands up just 10 seconds. Feel free to make that 90-degree angle, but here's the thing. The thing is that our tailbone is lengthening down. We're pressing through the back heel. We've got 5 more seconds here. Should feel good. Sweep your hands down and forward. Glute squeeze, right? Hands back, just for the count of 5. Dig through the front heel, warm up, warrior 2. Feel free to come into a 90-degree angle, archer pose. So we're pressing through the outer corner of that back foot. Straighten, rebound, reverse warrior. Is there spaciousness in your hip joints? Side angle. Hand to the floor or a block. Open that knee. Draw your right hip back. Trikonasana. Sometimes this is an easier variation, you know? Having the hand on the floor. It's just a little bit more challenging for our hamstrings. But much easier for our abdominal muscles. Step your foot back. Option, guys. Make fists with your hands. And pause for 30 seconds. You can do this from your knees. Make sure your wrists feel good. Slight bend in your elbows. I'll try not to count imaginary sheep, more counting. Just sometimes I get a little bored of the counting, you know, saying 1 Mississippi 2. So I'm going to estimate that we have about 15 seconds left here, that's all. And we've got 10 seconds left here. And we've got 5 seconds left here. Now back to our Chaturanga pose. Fuller half up dog. Lift the legs. Down dog. Woo. Now lowering our knees to the floor, just for fun. Step 1, and we'll see what strength we have left. We've really worked those arms quite a bit. Now, keep your elbows in, right tricep under right leg. You might stay there, flexibility, that might be where you're at. Step 2 is to practice your arm strength. So this really works our Chaturanga. We bend and straighten our arms, and we might stay there. And step 3, moving in the direction of Chaturangas 2.
and then coming back into our child's pose. You can be more graceful if possible. Puppy. Just got our challenge poses, and that's it. Then you'll obviously do a beautiful Shavasana and cool down. Left tricep underneath the left thigh and shuffling the foot forward. Visualization really important here. Firstly, charging up the arms so you bend and straighten, bend and straighten. That's our step 2. And over time, we lift the legs. Ooh. And coming back into our child's pose, hands behind us. Can we release the tension from the wrists, the neck, etc. Now feel free to use a block here if you know it's really helpful for your split or your half split or whatever option you're doing, but we are nice and warmed up for that now. Lucky day, huh? Sometimes it's good to wear socks because your feet slide when you're practicing the split, and that's really helpful for coming a little bit further. Now stick your bum out, lean to the side, and have some sort of little rock and roll here that you know you need. So find your little pockets of tension for you. Now you can pause the video if you feel like, oh, I'm nearly there, but I need more time. And you draw your thigh bone back into the socket. And you find a place where your legs are not tightening. Visualize those rollers. So your sit bones are moving back behind you, that front leg. You're drawing your thigh bone back into your socket. You're stretching and reaching through your back thigh and toe. You're pressing through the front heel as you draw the thigh bone back into the socket. Now, other side. If you do center split, feel free to pause the video again and go for that practice. Otherwise, slide the right leg forward. Stick your bum out, have your little wiggle here. And again, sometimes a bit easier when you have something slidey on your feet. Now, where is the tension for you? For a lot of people, it's the back thigh. So what I'm doing here is I'm releasing my back thigh as much as possible before I try and level up my hips. And then we come back to the center. We try and level up our hips as much as possible. We draw that thigh bone back into the socket. Keep reaching through that back thigh. Engage the back kneecap. Try not to sacrifice your body for any shape. Doesn't matter. Whatever shape you're in, you're releasing. And then coming all the way out. I like to pad my knee, so my knee wasn't really on my little mat here. It does help. You want to do another vinyasa, the fun of a full Chaturanga maybe, which you might notice now is sometimes easier than those little half ones. Or maybe you lift one leg at a time. Awesome. Coming into your child's pose, taking a little rest. Now from here, you might want to grab your belt again. Coming into our half pigeon, right leg in front, releasing the tension. Which is a warm-up for which? Was our split a warm-up for this? Sometimes we use this for a warm-up for split, right? All the poses assist each other. Now you can hang out here, you can just enjoy it at the end of the class, right? Feels really nice. But you know, our left thigh is pretty released now. So, if you want, you can bring your heel towards your groin. And that's because that is the shape of mermaid pose. And then, with or without your belts, guys. So I'm going to show the step 3 option immediately. And of course, I'll do other classes where I show more variations. But take hold of your belt, stretch the thigh away, and immediately we're releasing the front of the hip flexor here. So maybe you take a moment and you enjoy the release and you're like, oh, that feels nice. And then if it feels good, we walk our hands towards our toes. It's kind of hard to talk in that. And then we come out of it. Ooh, that was nice. Be mindful of your back. It's a contradiction. Anytime we do a back bend, we're trying to get rid of the back bend in the low back. That's the thing that makes us strong. Everything else is fanciness. So half pigeon, other side, and it's really nice now, right? If or when you're ready, you bring your heel in towards your groin for your mermaid. Whatever variation you're taking, I'm showing the one with the belt, which is the hardest variation. It's more, sometimes they call it King Pigeon. I think it's Ekapada, Raja, Patasana, the longest name. So, stretch the thigh away, and maybe you stay here, hang out for a while. We're always trying to square the hips a little bit. We're drawing the belly in. It's like an airbag for our spine. It protects the low back. And then we see where we are on this side. Come out of it. Woo. Bring your legs forward. Now, I'm not going to do a cool down with you. I'm going to do a cool down on my own so I can really enjoy it, and also so the video is nice and short. But you want to soak up the metaphysical benefits and also the physical benefits of your poses. So hopefully we've done them mindfully, so there are benefits. And you want to release the tension you've built, and you do want to take a Shavasana. So in terms of our metaphysical practice, all the shapes, it's lifting the energy up through the chakras for higher consciousness, and I'm into that. So you want to take your Shavasana so that can happen, so the energy can lift up through the body. And that's why sometimes when the energy does flow up, we feel connected with all that is, even though we're on our own on the floor, we're not talking, etc. That's a real crown chakra experience, that beautiful experience we have in Shavasana very often. So please take a cool down, have your Shavasana over time. I'll make videos for them. You can just stick them on and roll with them. Otherwise, thank you for joining me.